Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for Season 1, Day 1, but match number 2 on the night. For this one, we're going to have 1Reason up against the Wichita Wolves to see who's going to be able to pull ahead. Of course, my name is Visions. Joined with me on the cast is Proper. We saw match number 1 was a hot 3-0 that was picked up there from Pride over Theory Nation. Now we'll see exactly how the map number 2, or rather, the series number 2 is going to unravel for us.
God, I'm so excited to cast this team of 1Reason. I mean, when you got Remarks, J-Ray, Cheeto, this team looks amazing, and they look super fun to cast over top of. Wichita Wolves do have Rista leading the charge as their captain along the way. It's going to be a tall order to ask for both of these teams to really come out of the gate swinging, but coming out of the gate swinging, indeed, 1Reason did. Even starting on the unfavored side of the map, they do the wise thing and just flood on in towards P1, get a handful of seconds to give themselves a little bit of a lead. But winning the gunfights is good, but you got to start marching your way forward towards those P2 spawns that Wichita Wolves currently hold.
Yeah, this is what's going to be very difficult, of course. We're going to see that player get cut down, and this is going to be 4 now, completely down for 1Reason. They do grab at least a good amount of points off of P1, which is what you usually hope for when you are on this unfavored side, going in towards hacking the yard, hard point. Now smokes are down, push about to come through. Wichita Wolves have touched the hill. They have the setup. Now they just need to hold the line of defense to make sure no one gets through.
Just double checking on all these rosters along the way too. I see symbols on here, and on my list, and as part of a team, Agathorus, I believe, with Thresh. So I'm getting a little bit of a spin around personally right now, but nevertheless, they're going to be casting this match as it ends up going along. I mean, with Birdie, Mauser, and MCK, that's definitely Wichita Wolves, but it's not the list for 1Reason of their roster that I currently have. I don't see no Cheetah Wonga on that team, but going on forward, we'll go ahead and just call them what they are, and that's the team in the red. Definitely playing from behind as the eclipse of 70 points for Wichita Wolves starts going even more so over. And, well, you know as well as I do, friend, that this P2 side is definitely somewhere where you can start encroaching or growing your lead even more so. And got to be careful here if the team in red. Got to definitely be able to play that ever so wonderfully, so that way you can try your best to be able to hold on towards the smokestack hard point and at least try to work your way in towards the office to start encroaching on the lead that Wichita Wolves currently hold over top of you.
And, well, they're going to find at least decent rotation. Now they're trying to actually lock down some points. This will be at least a team in a red here able to grab quite a few of the first 30 seconds. Now maybe even looking to grab the last 30. As we're going to start even moving in towards now the next rotation after this over towards the office for P number 4. And, well, at the moment, we do have our red side, of course, having the favorite side leading in towards Future Hills past this one. One more hit might come through for Snow Hair. He's going to win his one-on-one, but, again, the trades have been good thus far, and the teamwork has been on another level from Wichita Wolves, but their lead isn't by any means out of hand, as we see Rista in the back is going to find a couple more players off spawn. The first 2 were good there, Rista, but that was a lot of players to try and take down after that. So this is going to be Wichita Wolves here holding on to about a 30-point lead. Moving into the office, they're going to have to battle through, get recontrol of the hill, and then have to push things out to try and flip the spawns through heading in towards the next one after this.
And just as a double back of confirmation, this is the squad of 1Reason. With the team dropping out of the league, the roster for 1Reason had to absorb some of the players from that team that ended up dropping out. So this is what's going to be interesting, especially for the team of 1Reason versus Wichita Wolves. How much time do each of these teams have playing with one another, and how's that going to be able to come out in full? Soon we'll definitely be able to tell more of that. Wichita Wolves still holding the lead, double plus, being able to hold on towards this office side. Definitely going to see the shoe on the other foot here, as you can see that 1Reason are currently holding the P5 area. It's going to come down to a tall order for Wichita Wolves to find a series of picks, as you're going to end up having 2 spawn over by P2. At least with Birdie being able to find that first kill, traded out symbols is that player you're definitely going to be watching out for. 9 and 10 to start out. This player can definitely make a ruckus.
Wichita Wolves looking to make that coordinated hit. So far, not finding the kills they would like to. They do find the first one. Now a second. So this is a great start. Make that 3 as they're going to have to try and get through Symbols, who's been that strong AR player. He's going to get himself right back in towards the hill. Going to find himself one more. So this will be 1Reason still holding on towards their setup, but there will be at least one more push coming through for the Wichita Wolves as they try and flood on in, but that is a wipe. That is 5 down. 1Reason. They're holding on towards P5 very well thus far. Wichita Wolves yet to find a break. Now they're just going to cut their losses, backtrack, play the good spawns, leading in towards P2 on the resets of the hills. And 1Reason is going to bring things back to 30 points.
It's a really good hard point, a swinging hard point, if you will, for 1Reason, just to keep themselves in the game. Like you said, about sub 30 points, 26 if you care about math. But at the end of it all, Wichita Wolves are going to be able to get themselves back on that P2 side. And they're going to be able to hold off onto this P1 area. Birdie is going to be the first player that's going to be met. Symbols walks in for an easy 2-piece. It may seem, but Rista's still alive, able to answer on back. Thresh comes back in and is able to clear off Rista. But if you take a look at the numbers, and especially for Wichita Wolves, you're just going to be able to keep Rista, who just respawned, over towards P2 to anchor that spawn in that area and just keep flooding in 2, if not 3 at a time for Wichita Wolves to at least keep fighting for this scrap time that is on P1. They win the gunfight 2 Visions, and now this lead is going to surely get out of hand as long as 1Reason will not make their way in towards that tire shop.
Yeah, this is a very tough spot because they're not going to have the spawns leading in towards the hill after this for P2, and that is, of all, probably one of the hardest hills to break in the game, I would say. And going in towards this next push, it has to be just essentially flawless. And we'll see exactly if it is going to be flawless because they are going to now flip the spawns out, and 1Reason is going to try and break things through. This is still going to just be a very close game. So into the tire shop, New Hill will spawn for us. And one player taking shots. This is going to be a lot of contention, but no one's going to be going down just yet. Finally, the kills are starting to drop. Snowhair, Rista both grab a couple of kills combined. That will be 3 down. One player has actually snuck through into useless, so they could maybe get one more good hit out, but you wait all this time. He ends up going down. They still have been yet to actually touch the hill, and Wichita Wolves are going to have a solid hold, and there's still another 26 seconds to collect.
If the odds player number 6 for 1Reason is 9-19, just about double negative right there, and that's not exactly what you want to see as the hot start for Wichita Wolves, where you end up having Rista at 21-19. Players absolutely popping off galore. You also have Birdie at 20 kills and 18 deaths, being able to control all of these hard points. Not necessarily popping off in the kill feed galore. If anything, if you're looking at this from a KD ratio standpoint, 1Reason are 100% slaying out, but Wichita Wolves, for all of their understanding for the map and its rotations, are finding the breaks that they need, and they're able to get themselves onto the hard point to then eclipse past 200 seconds. They're at 222, where 1Reason, again, find themselves in the second rotation of hard points, much like in the first, that they have to at least find as much time as possible off the smokestack. Thresh has the trophy system, keeping themselves alive for the time being. And good kills coming through for 1Reason when a much-needed gunfight. It's just one more player standing in between the smokestack and the office side, whom also goes down. Wichita Wolves now would be pushing towards the mid-map to try to put themselves onto the office hardpoint in P4s where they can win.
Yeah, they're in a great spot at the moment. They're actually able to hold just about a full 60 off of this hill. There's still some scrap time that's up in the air at the moment. And we might just see one more hit that ends up dropping down. A double now collected, pushing through for 3. Big play. So the scrap time does not go over to 1Reason. The last couple seconds just collected. But this is going to be into the next hill. And this will be very difficult to see if they can actually try and lock down the office. Last time it was very highly contested like we normally see. Not the easiest to try and lock down. There's not a whole lot of area that actually covers this office for the hill time itself. But only another 15 seconds need to be collected for the Wichita Wolves. They could close out on the office. That will be MCK grabbing himself a big 3-piece. Make that a 4-piece. He finds actually 5. Big plays from him. He's locking down the hard point. He's slaying out anybody that dare challenges. He will mow down as this 6 spree will come to an end, but it does not matter as the Wichita Wolves hold on 250 to 182.
Yeah, Wichita Wolves go ahead and saying that this is not an essential services office building. You may not enter, 1Reason. Not at all. It is not open for business. Wichita Wolves look commanding, and even though 1Reason were able to find a certain amount of points and value off the smokestack hardpoint, like you said, Wichita Wolves, I mean, they were in such a great spot. They don't really care about that hardpoint as long as they can just get themselves set up on P2 and P4. It's going to be really difficult for any team to try to break on through, and even bring yourselves back to P2 through 2 sets of hardpoints untouched off the spawns Wichita Wolves were, and got a full 50 plus, if not the entirety of the 60-second value that you get off of a hard point. As soon as it went over to P2, Wichita Wolves, they did not get off. 1Reason had a few players here and there in very powerful positions to be able to put themselves in locations to potentially break on forward. But man, oh man, Wichita, those Wolves, they came out to play, and not in the way that 1Reason thought. That is one dog that you do not want to be petting. So now you're going to have to look for 1Reason, who's a team, again, that just got put together off of one team dropping out of the league and playing, we can only imagine, with not as much time with one another. Maybe they play in a couple pubs together. Maybe they play in a couple of tens together. Regardless of the matter, this Wichita Wolves squad, again, not necessarily winning in the slaying department, but they will look fantastic on rotations. And Hackney Yard is one of those maps, especially for hardpoint, where you don't necessarily have to slay out. You can find so much value in just putting yourself in prime locations, finding impactful kills, finding the right kills just to put yourself on that hardpoint to swing the lead in your favor. 1Reason have no choice. They have to be looking towards a search and destroy, which is going to be on Arkloff Peak.
Yeah, we start talking about the next few maps to come through, and well, if this team isn't actually, has been assembled for quite a long time to get that kind of experience and synergy underneath their belts, well, a map and a game mode like Search and Destroy for Arkloff Peak is definitely a chance to start to show some individual talent for as far as what you're able to bring to the roster. And this is obviously a game mode that enables that more than any other one. Your individual play can definitely be enhanced if you're able to get to those big power positions or those big flanks. But I'm definitely interested to see what both of the takes are. We've seen some teams that like to just go to that standard A hits. Let me see, through the left side of the map, play the trenches out, try to land some smokes, and then for God's sake, just make sure you try to attempt to get the bomb down. And then we see some other teams that like to play through the middle of the map, sometimes actually pinch out. It was a really interesting, I think, CCL match that I got to watch where teams were actually playing through the middle of the map with their subs and pinching out the A side, playing through middle map control, which is something that I think is not really thought about a lot, because usually you stack so many of your members over towards that back A area, and most of the time it's either a sniper, 2 ARs, or 3 ARs themselves, and you do actually leave a lot of the map open. And well, if you're able to get to those power positions or able to get those routes on track as fast as possible, then it can make the difference. So we'll see what the sniper play will be like heading in towards an Arkloff Peak. Of course, if you are 1Reason, you definitely do not want to be going 2-0 down heading in towards that map number 3. So this will be a big one for them to see if they can tie up the series.
I think that was that Concord Maroon match that you and I casted, or at least in this tournament, they're the Indie Kingsmen. So being able to showcase a multitude of talents too. But then I also get PTSD from the Challengers rebroadcast that we did from Parasite. Yeah, I'm so sorry that I have to bring that back up to your mind.
You did it to me, Proper.
Yeah,
it's all over again.
But so many teams, for whatever reason, always favor just trying to go towards this trench side, and
I know
it's so hard to find value in it continuously, especially when you do it, I don't know, like 6 offenses in a row. It's just so easy to scout out at that point, too. But Wichita, on defense, they find themselves a good handful of kills. Birdie's going to be the scope for Wichita. Trades coming through. 1-player advantage now for Wichita Wolves. Now even. It is a 2v2. 1Reason still have to somehow work their way up to this bomb site, but they're split. You got 1 player working mid-map. Then you also have Vios just working their way up top of this mound, is able to find 1 kill. That's pretty good. Still have the bomb in hand, and being able to pinch on forward. 1Reason, they actually squeak out a round victory. They didn't even need to plant the bomb because Wichita Wolves just gave up their positioning as they were trying to chase kills through the trench.
Yeah, you know what? I love that. If you're going to hit the B bomb site, or rather A bomb site, make sure that you're actually, trying to make some kind of an aggressive push, not just waiting for your opponents to peek out. They challenge the sniper, and once you eliminate the sniper, it makes things so much easier for you then to kind of maneuver around, go for those shoulder peeks without worrying about getting picked off. So that's just a very nice offensive round that comes through for 1Reason. They're able to make a very aggressive hit there, and big plays, of course, come through in the end. But now we'll go over towards, of course, the offense this time around for Wichita Wolves, and they're going to also try their hand over towards the same bomb site to see if they can try and have that same success 1Reason just pulled off.
Multiple members. It's actually a really good bait and switch. 1 player pushing over towards the mound, throwing out all the lethals and tacticals that they have inside their vest. Yeah, you only have 2, but it's enough information at least to garner the entire team of Wichita Wolves to push through the blue house, push mid-map past the missile launchers, and put themselves on towards the bomb site inside Grandma's house. The bomb has been planted on the B. Although a well-cooked nade and well-placed will be able to find a kill for 1Reason. 2 players and a number advantage there. MCK had the opportunity to be able to get the kill, but they go for the beatdown instead for whatever odd reason. They lose their head because of it, and now it's just down to Riska. Oh, man, this is just so unfortunate.
Oh, he almost could have gotten some sick timing here, as he is just going to pop out now, just literally a couple seconds too late. And that's just a very clean round that comes through. And just the retake overall that ends up coming down. It's a lot of 1v1s, a lot of isolated 1v1s that just end up being won for the majority of the 1Reason players. So they're going to put themselves up 2-0 in the Search and Destroy. We talked about them having a good, strong start towards the Search and Destroy and making sure they don't go 2-0 down. Well, they're off to a great start thus far, and now they're going to go over towards another offense where we'll see if they try their hands again at that same bomb site that worked out very well for them, or if they're going to try and throw that little bit of a curveball that we just saw from the Wichita Wolves, where they were trying to get themselves a little bit of a hand in towards that B house, but did not end up working out. So now we'll see exactly what the plan will be heading in towards this offensive round.
You know, there's not a lot of times to where you get to see a recollection of Hardpoint going into Search and Destroy. But again, 1Reason, they find themselves in a really good setup and a rotation. The play is fantastic, but when you look at the slaying factor for Wichita Wolves, Thresh is 4-0. And the entirety of 1Reason have yet to find any sort of value as far as kills are concerned. 1Reason still completely outslaying their adversaries of the Wolves. Even numbers now as 1Reason back on the offensive side. And this is what's really scary, too, for Wichita Wolves. Yeah, you have to get kills. I know it sounds crazy in a game like Call of Duty that you actually have to find, eliminations, but, the rotations and the setups are all going to be there, but you're going to have to be able to get your gunning up, and you're going to be able to have to transition that into kills, which then transitions into map pressure along the way. The offensive side, for 1Reason, had then rotated, picking up the bomb from their dead comrade. It's going to be Viaz, starting to work their way towards Grandma's house. Snowware found themselves in a really powerful location inside Grandma's house, just manning the bar, just trying to serve up some drinks, potentially, but they're only serving up death as Wichita Wolves, they slay out against 1Reason. It's just one more player remaining in a 1v3 fashion. Snowware will end up finding that last kill as they try to back themselves out over top of that cobblestone leap. And it's going to be an easy defuse. Wichita Wolves with a much-needed round victory. You do not want any team to take a 3-0 lead in Search and Destroy.
You said it. Much needed round comes through. Defensive setup does hold strong. Able to get that diffused. That drops down for us. So 2-1 going to be the score line. So far, I haven't seen anything crazy. A little bit of sniper play has come through. Great aggressive hits so far on the majority of these offensive. That one, unfortunately, just not working out there for 1Reason. And, well, we'll see exactly where the next approach is going to be. The sniper, I believe, might be in the hands. Yes, it is. So we're going to see if the sniper play can find a couple of opening picks. A couple of rounds ago on the defense, it certainly was. But Wichita Wolves, if they can find that big pick like that, then it would have made the difference for an aggressive push. But instead, it's actually going to be Wichita Wolves that lose one of their members. Birdie now still searching for a snipe, and he's going to have to reposition potentially before he has an opportunity at another shot.
Yeah, this is really scary, too. You put yourself with the scope, not finding the value, and instead you get first blooded, which is very unfortunate. You lose MCK. Bomb still being carried by Wichita Wolves. Then you lose Mouser as well. Snowware's right there, at least for a trade, so it's only a one-player advantage for 1Reason. Spoken a little bit too soon. Those shots a little bit too shaky, unable to get the kill, but they gave away their positioning. Now trying to march inside Grandma's house, immediately losing another member of Wichita Wolves, and Snowware with the bomb in hand, at least being able to get the snap onto the player upstairs. Now has no choice, has to plant this bomb as Birdie, again with the sniper in hand, it's going to be looking for that long angle from the blue house. Snowware's going to go out into this front lawn. It's a really good setup post disaster. But you're unable to get the shot and you lose your head. 1Reason unable to swarm all over the positioning there for 1Reason. And Thresh absolutely popping off towards the end. Will be gifted the bomb defuse as well. They're just going to be waiting for some more dead silences. Trophy system to come back up as well. They got the time to be playing around with. But what a retake again. 1Reason, they allow Wichita Wolves on offense to get the bomb planted. And then a retake comes on through, the pinch comes through the window, upstairs, and Thresh through the front lawn just absolutely mows over Wichita Wolves.
It looked so good. You said it, like, I love this setup. I loved it too. That sniper shot connects. Even that sniper shot you talked about a little bit earlier there in the round for Birdie to had a chance over top of that member that peaked on the bomb site. Either one of those shots go through. That's a totally different round that plays out there for the Wichita Wolves. But Unfortunately, not what happens for us on that one. So this is going to be 2 rounds up. And well, this is going to also maybe be a little bit of a different approach, as we'll see exactly what they're attempting to do. Again, getting their ARs back towards this top Grandma's house area, just waiting for those first kills that go down. But this time around, actually going to be a first blood that drops here for Wichita. Going to find a couple that actually follow this one up, and this could be their big break to try and have a successful defense to make sure that they're not letting the lead get completely out of hand here for 1Reason.
Absolutely the case. First blood and some more trades coming through, however. 1-player advantage in favor of the offense, but you know, I was about to say that you still have to be able to find the bomb plant and being able to come through somehow. I guess you could just end up slaying out along the way. It's nowhere. Gonna be able to find one over top of the bomb site. Bomb is dropped right in the front lawn, though, so it comes down to Symbols and Friend for 1Reason to be able to try to work their way back through this. Nowhere. It's taken a very interesting flank around the well, mid-map, through the missile launchers now. Could put themselves in a really good location. This time it could actually be massive, but you gotta land the shots. Nowhere. Oh my god. Very unfortunate to see. The bomb's going to get planted. He's going to get caught mid-sprint with a couple of bullets to the chest, and it's going to lose their life. But that timing was absolutely stellar. The shots, not so much.
Yeah, shots not so much, unfortunately. He definitely had the chance, though, to clutch out that 1v3. As he found the first one, he was in a good spot. Just dead silence had also ran out for him, so he was unable to kind of make that aggressive play to get himself right in towards the bomb house. So that's 3 rounds up for a series that we said wanted to be close, especially for a team that might be coming in not as practiced. And well, 4-1. We'll see exactly now again, back towards the same bomb site. Birdie's going to keep the sniper out, but he hasn't really had a whole lot of success with it. I think he's found a couple of picks, but it's really just been a lot of peaks that have come out. He just hasn't been able to actually nail the shots. He's 2-5. I think both coming from sniper kills a lot earlier on in towards the first couple of rounds that we had. And well, the first bloods have actually been holding very well so far for 1Reason. They're going to find themselves another first blood, this one on towards Rista, and the bomb has been brought over towards this bomb site. But when you're fighting this bomb site from a man down, it makes it so difficult to hit anything, especially if you have no tacticals or lethals left and available. But it's all up to Birdie, essentially. If he can find these big picks and open things up, that's going to give them the window to move on in.
When you're at 2-5 and you're still holding onto the scope, Symbols is going to be the opposing member with their own scope. You can see them moving around, trying to find different locations on the map to where they can find kills. It's the ARs that are doing it for 1Reason, 2-player advantage. But I mean, at what point do you end up just putting it away and just trying to dedicate at least a rush, at least through mid, at least through the trenches, because it's just not working, man. You got to be able to take these adaptations earlier on, because now 1Reason, they find themselves 5-1 on map point. And to a previous point that I was going to bring up as well, for 1Reason, regardless of how trained they are, regardless of how well practiced they are as a 5-man standing roster, a lot of players outside of league play, outside of tournaments visions, they play a lot of S&D tournaments. S&D is just one of those game modes in COD that a lot of players individually feel very comfortable on, rather than Respawn, where it comes down to solo practice, at least in your pubs. When you're in tournament play, a lot of that teamwork can get, well, droughted out. Now Wichita Wolves, they're getting absolutely bodied. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Snowware's at 6-5, but Riss is at 1-5, 2-6 for Birdie. Mauser's at 2-5, 1-6 for MCK. Rista goes down from a well-placed Semtex. Symbols finds themselves another first blood, is at 6-3. Wichita Wolves are absolutely falling apart as this rush comes through for 1Reason. This is a great pinch and hit coming through into Grandma's house. Snowware has to be able to find the utmost value on the upstairs of Grandma's house.
Yeah, you got to go big. A couple of these players in the great positions to try and get it done, but whether or not they'll execute on it, well, we're going to find out here very, very soon. Besh has the bomb, and he will be looking to put this down here very shortly, as there it goes. So bomb is going to be planted. That will be a big kill from MCK in the middle of the map. It's going to give them a little bit more hope, as he actually, Symbols doesn't even respond to the play that was behind him. As a 3-piece now for MCK, as it's all up to 1. Shots do come through.
I'll give him the ace.
Able to grab himself one, but has to grab himself 2 more. Player is defusing it. Is he actually going to get there in check in time? He's going to bust through the door. Player's on the bomb. He's stretching it
my
2, but the defuse goes through. So Wichita Wolves, will keep this search and destroy going. MCK finds a big 3-piece, and now it's going to leave us at 5-2.
I think that they actually found 4 in that round. Not unless they actually updated the, Well, no, he ended up dying the round previous to that one. It was a full wipe in favor of 1Reason. He found 4. That's crazy. MCK going absolutely massive. I was saying that it had to be Snowware, but that's absolutely massive. Wichita Wolves, they need all of that and some more to be able to answer on back. They're on offense again, and, well, it's happening again. It's happening again, Visions. They're back on the turn side. I'm getting
aggressive though. Thank God. You know what? They're getting aggressive, and that puts a smile on my face right now. You can't see it, but I promise you, I am smiling right now. This is good. Let's see if they can actually...
I hear the smile.
That's right. You can hear it through the mic. Zoair is in a great spot here. He's going to have the whole cross. If they can actually get towards the bomb and maybe even drop it, they would be in a very great spot. Zoair has some good shots underneath the truck, but now he's anticipating a gunfight, and well, he anticipates right. He'll find himself a double. That's going to be 4 down for 1Reason. It's all up to 1, who will find 1 kill, but Birdie's just going to simply jump behind this side of the bomb, and now they can play towards this side.
As Dead Silence doesn't even need it, just commits to the flank entirely. As a lethal, cooks up the nade. Unable to find the kill, though. MCK waiting on the opposing mound is just going to go and trade some shots. On the opposing side, I believe I saw Birdie and saw a little bit of a flashlight coming through. Birdie opening up this round with a scope kill. It's absolutely massive. And then that push came on through. Like you said, so refreshing to see coming through from a team that got absolutely trapped on the trench side, unable to find value with the scopes, unable to find value with their automatic weaponry. But this time around, they find the opening pick. And what do you do with that? Wisely so, Wichita Wolves, they recognize their opportunity and they smell blood in the water. They just rush on forward, able to put themselves on the point in commanding fashion, wipe another 3 members of 1Reason off. Now Wichita Wolves making this game a lot closer. Now, you take a look at players from 1Reason. Got a lot of players absolutely slaying out again. But again, recollection of hardpoint. You can slay out as much as possible, but when you're unable to commit to anything as a team, you get absolutely bodied. And now Birdie again, he's heating up with the scope. He finds first blood 2 rounds in a row. This is going to slow things up for 1Reason, who are trying to commit to the trenches.
Birdie is starting to heat up, like you said, and now 1Reason are kind of in that spot where it's like, oh well, we've lost a couple of players, we've committed to this side. This is another shot. Birdie does not connect, but he does stay alive, and well, you just have to make sure you don't over peak at this point in time. This is a really easy round to play out if you're the Wichita Wolves. You just have to simply make sure you watch the rotation. They have 2 players set up in the middle of the map watching that complete rotation. They have 3 players that are still stacked, and well, now if you're 1Reason, you're the one that has to actually hit this out. They're going to land some shots, so Symbols does find himself a pick. This is simply just going to give them a 2v4, as we'll see Symbols now move back up. Snowhair is also going for a deep flank, and this could really be that thorn in their side, but it doesn't even matter. Wichita Wolves are going to be able to hold on to this defensive setup. 1Reason we're up by a few rounds. They were only 1 away. It was 5-1 at one point in time. It was 5-1, but here we are, 5-4 proper, and well, this search and destroy is not over just yet.
I just don't understand. If you lost members, you have to pop your dead silences. Whatever you have, cut through mid-map. Get over to Grandma's house. She's got milk and cookies waiting for you, man. You gotta get over there.
Safe haven. Get over there, man.
I mean, even regardless, if you still lose on the rotation, what's the worst gonna happen? You're gonna lose the round? It already happened anyway. Regardless, gonna have to see if adaptations come on through. Wichita Wolves back on offense. They have now pieced together 3 rounds in a row, making this a 1-round deficit. And Rista finds first blood. Oh, this is getting real scary now. You gotta somehow make this position work. Symbols pops dead silence just to put themselves in the trench side, but Snowware just works his way through the trenches, puts themselves on the bomb site, is gonna plant the bomb, and also finds the kill on his Symbols. Got his ankles broken.
So well done. The stun check comes through. This is what they're starting to do now. They're using the tacticals and lethals a lot more effectively. And now 1Reason are fighting from a 3 1v5. Rista throws out some shots, does give his position away, but just going to backtrack to his teammates, and now we're going to see some trades. It's all up to 1 in a 1v4, but you have to assume this one is just essentially impossible. And while the shots are going to drop down, Wichita Wolves are going to find 4 straight rounds, bring us to a round 11. And, well, we'll see who's going to get the offense, but so far it has been offense after offense. 1 for the Wichita Wolves. 1Reason has been slowing down. They have been the ones getting picked from Birdie on these defensive setups. And this is going to make or break the difference. If 1Reason's on offense, I'm going to be fairly worried for them heading in towards this round 11.
Listen, I like Disney movies as much as the next guy, but this Cinderella story, 1Reason, you got to close out this match, man. I mean, like, this is borderline getting completely out of hand. Wichita Wolves are looking to close this out. They're actually going to push towards the trench side. Birdie putting themselves in another position, wisely getting smoked out. We just hope that that's 1Reason's, and Wichita Wolves didn't end up bamboozling their own teammate. But look at the aggression being pushed on forward. Rista and Snow where they find 2. That is a big numbers advantage there for Wichita Wolves. However, at least answered back on the 1. So now you got to slow things up. Birdie has the bomb. I don't know if that was necessarily a scheduled call coming through from Wichita Wolves, considering that's your sniper that is currently holding on to it. Has no choice but to be able to push on forward. Numbers advantage still by 1. And now even Stevens, that's all the way until at least Vial goes down. Birdie Kun able to find themselves an M4. Is now playing on top of this mound. Gets the regen to come on through. There's a player. We can see through the X-ray, but they can't. Gets a little bit of a shoulder peek coming on through. They're just going to go and play the bomb. This is all while MCK pushes on forward. He was able to find another one. Now it's down to Vita, who's getting stuck in a 1v3. He's at 5 and 6. You got to hope that these shots come through. They're unable to find the kill. And now we'll slide into the mound and just pure disaster as Wichita will string together 5 rounds in a row and win out of round 11. 1Reason unable to close out this game. Wow, if you're a fan of 1Reason, you really hate to see that.
Oh, do you ever hate to see that? You needed 1 round. They were looking fantastic. Just every single round there for the first 6, they were pretty much unbeatable. The setups were good. The offensive pushes that were coming out just seemed to be completely unmatched for the side of the Wichita Wolves, but they flipped the switch. They're a round away from being beaten in this map number 2, and they're able to just string together, like you said, round after round. And a lot of players have to go big at a lot of different moments in that game, but it comes through, it comes out. So that's going to be now 2-0 up for the Wichita Wolves. I think very easily should have been a tie of the series for 1Reason, but they will fall short. So this is going to be a potential closeout in a map number 3, where we will go over towards the St. Petrograd domination. The last St. Petro in the series number 1 proper. Well, it was a quite exciting one. We got to see, a lot of comeback potential, a lot of flip-flops and back and forths over the flags. I assume that's what we'll get here as long as 1Reason spirits are completely crushed going into map 3.
The scary part is too, the big turning point, at least what I noticed coming through for S&D Arklov Peak, where it really started the next page in the Cinderella story for Wichita Wolves to be able to string together 5 rounds was the MCK. I believe that was round number 7, was able to piece together 4 on a defensive round and absolutely bamboozled and broke all the ankles of 1Reason. They did not see it coming. And from there on out, it was just another round, another kill to come on through, and then another round, and then multiple kills to come on through. Birdie started to warm up off of that with that AX50 in their scope, able to find tons of pressure. Symbols then put it away, try to push on forward towards a later round, and got stun check. Like you said, in this, again, it's not every day that you get to see resemblance from Hardpoint in the Search and Destroy, but this teamwork that we're seeing out of the Wolves here, Austin, I mean, this is absolutely stellar. The adaptations, able to stay cool, calm, and collective underneath the pressure. They just played their game, and they recognized what they could adapt on, and those were some of those stun checks. Those were those slow, methodical pushes to find the first pick, and then you had 2 SMGs, if not an SMG and a stockless M4, rushing down through the trench side and able to yoink away all the positioning that 1Reason had upon them, and able to storm on top of that bomb site. That is how you take the trench side bomb site, ladies and gentlemen. If you wanted to know how, Wichita Wolves just showed you.
Yeah, they definitely showed you. Show that to Singularity. Going forward here, like you said, fantastic proper. Absolutely fantastic that comes through for the squad for us. And I think just having the resilience of being able to fight yourself back in towards search and destroy like that. Shows a lot of discipline for the squad. Shows I think overall a lot of promise for this squad that we're also starting to learn about here, as this is just day one of season one here for the Challenges path. So we are starting to feel out a lot of these teams as they're starting to feel out a lot of their opponents. And the one thing I'm getting from that is just the resilience of not giving up and continuously to keep on going. But at the start of that map number 2, I talked about how this is a chance for individual play to also shine through, and this is a chance for some of your players that maybe haven't had a whole lot of time to synergize together with actual setups and things like this, can still take over a game just due to how search and destroy plays out. But there was a certain point where the Wichita Wolves were just able to figure out a lot of those players that were having those good games and having those good rounds. They got figured out. They were getting predictable, and you mentioned it, the adaptation of being able to change things up and starting to play. Listen, these guys are giving us room to make aggressive plays. They're not always covering this trench area. Let's hit them. Let's try and get aggressive. Verdi is not finding these big snipes, so let's try and open things up a little bit more and create some more opportunities. That's what happens. That's what goes down. Wichita Wolves are able to bring us to a 2-0 in our second match on the night. And if you're also new towards the league, ladies and gentlemen, it's $1,000 on the line as we will go through this season. And so far, so good. We've seen a lot of great teams on the day. And I mean, you're going in towards this map 3 proper. You're 2-0 down. You choked a 5-1 in the search and destroy that you very likely should have been able to close out in multiple rounds there. Now you go to a St. Petrograd where this map is not very forgiving for this game mode that we're about to play on. Mistakes can be punished extremely hard. And I'm very curious to see if they have enough in the tank to keep things competitive heading in towards the third map.
I mean, if you missed that first series to where Pride they were playing down going in towards the second half, I believe that they only walked into the second half maybe leading by 2 points. And that within its own self was enough for them to bounce on back after absolutely stomping Theory Nation on S&D Piccadilly 6-1, and then being able to win out kind of in the same fashion that we saw from Wichita Wolves, with a little bit more slaying factor on their hardpoint gunrunner 259 and 197. Pride able to bounce things back in a St. Petro domination. You almost have to think that if you are Wichita Wolves, again, who didn't necessarily outslay by any means, they actually got outslayed by 1Reason, that they have a certain amount of understanding to how this is going to end up playing out for domination St. Petrograd. You got to watch your anchors. You got to watch how far you push up that half line past the restaurant angle if you're holding on to the seaside of the map, so that way the spawns don't get too awry. But you're also looking towards those north and south spawns, that if you're able to hold onto Lions while you have your anchor on C, can you trap 1Reason in towards P1, or can 1Reason do it at the same time? We're looking for that slaying factor to really come into play here for 1Reason, but you're got to be able to turn that into map pressure, especially on the beast that is this map game mode.
It is a beast, isn't it, proper? I mean, we've gotten to...
I used to hate this map in game mode, and now I just look, I love it, yeah. I mean, St. Petro.
Yeah, it was a weird map at the start because it felt like, especially for search, it was like, all right, this is a cross map. It's another one of those maps that for anyone that played back in the day for some ghost search and destroy, a map like Octane, where it's like, okay, well, you're stuck here in this area, and it's like you almost feel like you have to, the smoke crosses up before you can do anything. But it evolved from that. People realize, oh, well, there's a middle of the map we can kind of play through on St. Petrograd. There's some jump spots that you're able to kind of maneuver in and get towards these very important, powerful spots to look for these flanks and things like this. But and for domination, for a map and mode like domination, it is very exciting for a lot of different reasons, because you're able to play the map so methodically, in the sense where you can always create some kind of advantage for yourself based off the situation that you're in, especially when you have middle map control. When you've slayed down the enemy team, you have won the very first middle of the map kind of gunfights that have went through, and you have control. It's so easy to get towards so many of these different areas that just play such a big pinch factor. It can stop the push, and it's very difficult for your team to be able to come back in and clear all of those areas out all the time. And then the neutralizations that play a factor on this map are probably more important than any other map combined in the rotation. So there is a very important way to play a map like this. I think very few teams have it perfected at this point in time here. And well, if you're 1Reason, you really have to be coming out with your A game, for the simple fact you are 2-0 down. You did not look great by any means in the respawn. You're outslayed a little bit. Some rotations were good, some holds were good, but overall the consistency wasn't there. That's what we need proper. We need consistency across the board from all these players. And if not, then I mean, this very likely could just be another 3-0 on the night.
I just can't count out 1Reason just quite yet, because again, you look at the one X factor of the slaying factor, and I've seen Symbols in a multitude of tournaments, and I've been able to see what they're able to piece together with multiple 5-man rosters, domination or anything of the case. I just hope that some of this leadership is able to come through. Vita, Thresh, Remarks, Vios. They all have so many bright spots that we're able to see, but when you're coming down to domination, Visions, you know as well as I do, it's respawn, yes, but it's teamwork first and foremost, and how this is all going to get up played out too. And this is why I'm just more or less leaning towards the 80-20 factor, that this is definitely going to go in the favor for Wichita Wolves, just for how they were able to manipulate the entirety of both the maps that we've seen. I mean, you take away some of those earlier rounds on Arklov, we could be just looking at a straight up 6-0 on Arklov Peak if they ended up coming out of the gate with how they did. But regardless of that, for St. Petrograd, for domination, you need all of that and a bag of chips. You look at how they played on Hackney Yard again, outslayed. But their positioning, their understanding of rotations, giving up some different hard points just to favor one side of the map, that's what you're going to be looking for, especially on this Goliath of a beast of St. Petrograd domination. And all players are loaded up in here. We are all set and ready to go. Domination, St. Petrograd. Can Wichita Wolves close it out in 3? Or will 1Reason push us to a map 4, if not a potential 5?
Well, we are going to find out right here, right now, as the breakoffs on St. Petrograd also very important for this game mode. And while first blood does drop through for 1Reason as they try to maneuver out, shots are good for Thresh. Does take down that player on the ambulance, but can't take down the second in the top hazmat area. This will be actually the Wichita Wolves coming back out. Oh, I thought that was a spawn, but no, just backtracking a bit. That's going to be 1 kill, so 2 more kills going to drop down. Wichita Wolves actually doing a good job of slaying out around the middle of the map. Symbols does find that trait, but not before a double does get collected. But A has been neutralized while all this has happened, so 1Reason are going to have to actually now decide, are they going to now backtrack for A, or are they going to try to push through for C? They do kind of have that split call where Wichita Wolves are able to adapt fairly quickly, and they're going to slay down all the members. They're going to stop this neutralization from coming through, and now they will hold on to 2 flags with a very nice early lead.
Oh, such a high risk, high reward play, and well, they didn't get the reward of that part, unfortunately. It's kind of like when you're cooking a souffle and you're just really starting to taste the benefits of it at the end of it all, but then you overcook it and then it falls flat the second you pull out of the oven. That's exactly what just happened to 1Reason's push right there, trying to force out the spawns. And Wichita Wolves, they showcase again map knowledge and being able to do what they do best and being able to turn that into map pressure. Getting the neutralization onto A. Wichita Wolves now leading. Yes, it's not the commanding lead, as we are literally just about, I don't know, a minute and a half into the first half, but I mean, it's still scary, and this can get really out of hand considering that you had another player working their way over towards the A flag, and they got the neutralize, and they're going to get the capture after winning a much-needed gunfight. Full-on domination for Wichita Wolves. 1Reason are not earning a single point at this point in time, or I believe a player actually disconnected there for 1Reason.
Oh, wow. Well, this is interesting to see how this actually plays out for us, because we just saw Birdie just flank and pick up a 2-piece, and now he is actually going to go for the full-on domination here again. So player down for 1Reason. 2, they must be, are they done?
They're going to be trying to go for either a remake, or maybe they are just Dunzo Bonanzo. I'm not too sure.
I mean, that's a whole interesting topic right there. What if it wasn't like a lag out and it was just, you know, bickering and frustration and complaining, right?
I mean,
like,
that also happens, especially with earlier teams, too. I mean, like, the frustration factor, there's no real telling. I don't know how old any of these players are, how much AM experience that some of them have. But, I mean, when you're going up against a team like Wichita Wolves, and again, when you go back to that Arklov Peak S&D and you get absolutely reverse swept 6-5 when you were 1 round away from closing things out, there's a lot of eyebrows that are definitely going to get raised over top of that, too. So, I mean, I think we're just going to go ahead and throw to a short break. Going to be able to try to find out what ended up happening there. And we'll be right back regardless with a certain understanding of what happened and where we're going to follow to next. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.